Yankees, since our last show, are 1-6, not counting today's win.
2-6. 2-6.
0-4 versus Toronto, which was a massive sweep. 1-2 versus
Toronto's on a 10-game win streak too. I think that's worth mentioning that they've just been really, really good.
49-41, 3.5 games back at Toronto.
Yeah.
When we had our last episode, right, the Yankees were 1.5 games up on Toronto, another 3.5 back in the span of a week. They are 1 game up on the first wild card, 3-7 in their last 10 games. It's been abysmal, but I keep seeing the Yankees are back. They beat the Mets on Sunday thanks to Cody Bellinger's heads up shoestring catch, throw him out at first double play to get Lindor.
Yeah.
And then you have today's beatdown on the Mariners, who had not given up a run in 29 innings, I believe.
Yeah, the thing is, the lineup, they need a third baseman. It doesn't need to be the greatest third baseman in the world. Obviously, shoot for the stars, and Eugenio Suarez would make the lineup the most dangerous lineup in the AL if it's not already. I still think even at their best, the Yankees lineup is the best in the AL when they're performing at their highest level. But you add a guy like Suarez, there's no doubt about it. But I think you could go a couple different ways. I think you could certainly acquire a backup level third baseman and kind of just have him be a starter. Even if they went and got a Yoan Moncada to at bat 8th or 9th in the lineup, honestly, I would just be satisfied with an everyday third baseman that I feel like you could trust at this point in time. I'm not high on Arenado, but the defense is still there and he fits the timeline of the team. So I wouldn't be completely unexcited by the move, depending on what the cost of it is. The massive thing for the Yankees is not only do they still need bullpen arms, but with the Clark Schmidt injury and Tommy John and him being done for the year, they now need a starter. And I'm going to say just one, because I think Will Warren, Ryan Yarbrough, and Marcus Stroman are good enough to eat regular season innings, and this team could win games with two of them pitching on the back end of things, and you see what you can get out of Will Warren and give him like a full real season to develop. But I don't want Will Warren pitching a playoff game. Not at all. Like Max Fried, Carlos Rodon as your first two in a playoff series is excellent. Luis Gil is coming back, and you question what he could handle workload wise. At least we did last year. Now he doesn't have to pitch a full season, so he should be fine come postseason. But they have to get another arm that you could trust in playoff spots. I think on the low end, a Justin Verlander, buy low and see what you get. I'm not completely opposed to it, but I think on the high end, a Zach Gallen, and go into next year with a really strong rotation. But the bullpen is the number one priority. Tim Hill, been solid. Their only lefty at the bullpen. I trust Fernando Cruz.
If he ever comes back.
Yeah.
Enough, he's out a while.
Yeah, I like I said, I trust him. Weaver and Devin Williams have been really bad at this point in time, but I like to think it's just a cold stretch for Weaver especially, and those will be trustworthy guys come late in the season. I mean, if they're not, like it's cooked as it is, but they need 1 to 2 really strong bullpen.
More than any team in baseball.
I disagree that they need Duran specifically. I think that they'd be fine getting just some available relief pitching.
I will be very disappointed if we get Dennis Santana, because we ran down that rabbit hole already. We did there. We've been there.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I certainly wouldn't love it. I'm trying to look up relief pitchers here that could potentially be available for trade. ESPN's not making it perfect.
I would have loved Alexis Diaz before he got traded to the Dodgers, because he's an arm I believe in. But I mean, depends on if the Cardinals decide they do want to sell, because Ryan Helsley would be an option.
Yeah, that's a name that I'd look at, and that's kind of back to what I was talking about with Arenado, where it's like, hey, you kind of could AJ Puck as a lefty that they could get out the pen as well could be something interesting. Are the Brewers willing to move on from any of their guys? A Trevor McGill. The Dodgers have so many arms. Or could you send them something? I don't know. We just talked about Munoz to the Phillies. The
Contract
Yankees should
already?
give a call. Who'd you say?
Tanner Scott, would you eat his contract from the Dodgers since he's not pitched very well? And they probably would get out of it at this point.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, there's no salary cap, so I would say yes, but the Yankees have self-imposed salary cap, which if you eat the Scott contract, you're just essentially saying, like, definitely goodbye to one of Weaver or Williams. Do you want to do that? I mean, I'm sure you want to get rid of Williams, but
Williams is destined to pitch in Philadelphia.
Pete Fairbanks is another name that I'd look at as
I don't
a
know if
potential.
the Rays are going to look to sell, though.
Yeah, well,
that's the issue with the expanded playoffs is
they're always looking to sell, though, even when they're good. Like, it's just a name that I would look at. The guy's got a 2.34 ERA this year. He's got 15 saves, so he could become your closer as well. A name that I'd look at if I'm the Phillies. Do you try and buy low on a Felix Bautista? I mean, the guy's just a monster of a human being. But again, in division, it's tough to get one of those to go. A Kyle Finnegan on the Nationals, something to look at. Emilio Pagan, if the Reds are just truly selling off the bullpen.
Yeah,
there's names out there.
There's names out there. A name I liked last year that they should have was Camilo Doval.
Yeah, the Giants. What is it? Rogers as well. He throws just absolute gas, if I'm not mistaken. Tyler Rogers. He's on that. So
now Doval's playing much better this year, and I don't think that he would be a trade option. But he was somebody who I think
they are.
But he's somebody I think they should have bought low on in the past. But there's a lot out there.
Do you think there's any world in which Cleveland moves off of Class A, fourth in the AL Central, 7 games under 500?
Absolutely. I think it's a possibility that Class A is on the board. I think that they have other arms that they like. Relievers, you know how it is. They have one bad year and they're over a lot of times. Like, they're very fickle. It's rare to find a reliever that's so dominant for years on years, and that's why Rivera was a special case. You get them every so often, but they're cyclical. They'll have a stretch of 1, 2, 3, 4 years where they're the top end guys, and all of a sudden it's a very steep fall off.
Yeah, Shelby Miller's another name. He's on the 15-day IL, but he's pitched really well at the bullpen for Arizona this year, a 1.98 ERA. Is that a guy that you could potentially go after and acquire? Could you potentially go out and buy one of their bullpen arms? If it's not him, I mentioned AJ Puck. He's at a 3.38 ERA right now for them. He's only had 8 innings of work this year. So he's on the 60-day IL, but again, a guy that could be back potentially for a playoff run. Something to monitor. I don't love it. But you got to look at the teams that you think could be potentially selling.
What about buying on Mason Miller? He's got a 4.41 ERA right
now. If you can, for sure. Any bullpen arms are worth taking a shot on if you're the Yankees that have shown promise.
Like, last season was Miller's only real good year out of the 3 years he's been in the league.
I think it all depends on the price too, right? What's the asking price?
He's got a lot of controllability left.
But similar to what I said about the Phillies, I don't believe the Yankees can go on a run and win multiple close postseason battles with the current bullpen.
Yeah.
And, there were guys like a Tommy Kahnle was huge for them last year. They just don't have that guy anymore.
Imagine not bringing back Kahnle because him and Devin Williams' main pitch are both the same pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it. And obviously Detroit's doing well with Kahnle. So is what it is. the Yankees got to go after bullpen, and I hope that they get an everyday starting third baseman. The Oswaldo Cabrera injury really sucks right now because he's a guy that I would love to have be the everyday third baseman, switch hitter at this point in time, real good vibes guy.
Get him
But
actual, like, at bats. Let him be consistent. See
yeah,
pitch.
third base, relief, and I would try to bring in an arm, maybe a reunion with Severino. Again, like you also got to look at these deals where maybe because I don't think the Yankees want to make a ton of different moves. So is there a deal where you can get 2-for-1? Can you get Mason Miller and Severino in the same deal? Can you get Eugenio Suarez and Shelby Miller in the same deal? Can you get Zach Gallen and Suarez in the same deal? Can you get, the Presley or Helsley, excuse me, and Arenado in the same deal? Because I don't think they want to make a bunch of different deals. Can you get Brian Hayes and David Bednar in the same deal? I don't love Hayes, but
I
it's
don't
better.
either.
Everything's better than like any guy that's an everyday starter is better than what they have right now.
Yeah. And I think looking to double up, might save you a little bit in the prospects in the long term. I would love to bring Sevy home. That's like the one thing I never understood where Met fans were like claiming him. Like he left on great terms with the Yankees organization and the Yankee fans. Like I
Yeah.
don't think there's any Yankee fans that think ill of Sevy. It was time for him to leave when he left, but he was somebody that
Now it's
really
time to come back.
gave his all. There was no, issues.